There we go.
Hello, everybody. This is hashtag follow the conversation, episode 24. It is January 19th, 2015. And as always, I am Michael Knipp, the host of this here podcast, here with my co-host, Drewby.
What's up, y'all? We back for episode 2 of 2015. It's episode 2 since the break. Since the break.
Yeah, season 2, episode 2, as it were.
Maybe, if we want to go with that. I mean, it's our show. We can do whatever we want. I mean, who cares?
Yeah. How's it going, Drewby?
It's going. I was watching some Batman Beyonds before the show started. I'm working my way through that series.
How does that hold up?
Not really.
Not that well.
I laugh. We were talking a little bit before the show. We're referencing Jonas. When Kevin from the show Jonas would lie, his voice would get really high. So as I sit here and it's like, not really. It's like, oh yeah, it must hold up really well then.
1999 to 2001, Batman Beyond.
I'm in season 3, so this is the last season before the show got canceled or moved on. I don't know the history of the show.
Children's television. How is it? You don't think it does it not hold up because you're grown up, or does it not hold up because it's not even good for kids?
I think it's okay. It's a little. I'd say I don't even know that I would let kids watch it. Like I would probably let someone maybe come and turn 13 or something before they watch something like the show. It can be kind of dark.
So too dark for kids, but not cool enough for adults.
It depends on the adult. Like I'm watching it and it's like okay. I mean, it's not like I wouldn't necessarily call it primetime television, but it's all right. I mean, it fills that void in my life. You know, you watch Justice League. Okay, I've watched that. You watch Justice League Unlimited. Okay, you've watched that. What else is on Netflix that I can consume that's DC animated? And Batman Beyond, it fills that void right now. So.
Have you already watched through the Batman the Animated Series, the OG?
I have not. I have started my way through. The reason I haven't been is because it's on Amazon. It's Amazon Prime, and I just kind of like. I like Netflix more. I just really don't. I don't go over to my Amazon videos a whole lot on the instant streaming, even though I have a Roku, where I can.
So what you're saying is you are so used to pressing the Netflix channel that it is too much of a deviation from your schedule to go to the Amazon channel.
Perhaps it might help. I don't. Here. Well, let's see. Maybe I just need to move it higher up on the channel list. So that I got my Netflix up there. I got my Hulu. I think Amazon might actually already be up there. So, I just need to make. Yeah, Amazon's like you can't see it, but it's next to the Netflix one.
So your muscle memory is so locked in that Amazon is just one more step than you need to get to watch that.
I'm stuck, man. I'm stuck. I'm in a rut. I can't get out of it. It's Netflix or nothing. It's Nerf or nothing.
These are signs that you've been living in the wilderness too long.
I need to come back to civilization, to social norms and social acceptances. So, yeah.
Sure.
We'll go with that.
I don't watch TV anymore. Pretty much the only thing I watch on TV right now is 19 Kids and Counting. I now own 5 seasons of that show on Amazon. We're working through season 14.
You are the proud owner of a show that is avidly protesting population control.
Yes, by its very nature. I mean, whatever. I own freaking 3 seasons of iCarly or something. So I have the weirdest stuff on my Amazon account.
iCarly is different. That's entertaining. That's not really fair for me to say. I haven't watched really 19 Kids and Counting, so maybe it is entertaining.
Something I will say about 19 Kids and Counting is that it's really nice to watch a functional family on television. Mm. Like, I enjoy my Goldbergs, where you got these people that kind of suck at being people, and they've got comic hijinks, and then it's also kind of nice to watch a functional family where everybody gets along and people are doing their thing, and it's a good show, good nice heartwarming show that I can watch while I play video games that I don't like, but I'll save that for the later on parts of the show.
And all the garbage that is in this world, all the crap that goes on, the horribleness of everything. You go back to 19 Kids Accounting and you're like, yes, functional families still exist. You can find them. They may be rare now, which is sad, but they do exist, and it can be encouraging in that way.
You know what's something ironic about 19 Kids and Counting is I just realized after watching the show for 14 seasons almost, they don't have any televisions in their home. The Duggars have no televisions, and part of me, because like this is okay, I am 24 years old. I've been married for 3.5 years. Part of me is wondering if that is a serious consideration when it comes to having a family that functions the way that you think it should function. Like, how much of the garbage that comes into a family from no matter what your perspective, when you're watching TV all the time, everyone is seeing things that you probably don't want your kids to act like. How much better would it be if you raised a family without letting them watch any TV? And I don't know if I'm willing to take the full plunge, but I think it's something very seriously worth considering, that as a young grown up, that I'm actually thinking like, hey, as much as I like TV, there is some serious merit worth considering on limiting the kinds of things that your children can watch.
Well, it's not even fully applicable to you at this point. I mean, to some extent, yes. If you took less time from your TV, how much more social time would you have with your wife? And then you could integrate and grow and deepen that relationship. When it comes to kids, even when you take that TV out, you take cable out. You take that harmful influence, that negative influence, out of the lives. I'm not going to say that it's going to fix your kids, and I'm not even sure it's wise to say that taking the TV out is going to directly result in your kids being well behaved, because the person is still the person.
No, I mean we got depravity to worry about here, but I think the thing that's considered is when you're, and obviously I'm not a parent yet, but when you become a parent, like things like this become apparent. Son of a gun, become obvious where you realize that like you got this shot with your kid, you got whatever, how many amount of years before they stop listening to you, so like maybe 15, 16 years depending on how rebellious your kid is. And the amount of control that you have over that is, directly related to, individual choices that you can make. And if you can limit those factors on, hey, they're getting really bad ideas from this source, it's definitely worth thinking that around in your head. Like, hey, let's see, my kids don't, watch TV, so they can't see any of the garbage that's on TV. Like, my kids can't do this. They can't see, the garbage. I know what my kids are listening to. I know what they're doing. I know the games that my kids are playing. I know what they're exposed to. Like, thinking about these things seriously when you're a kid sounds super dumb. Like, why would we not have TV? It's super dumb. What really long-term benefits did I gain from watching lots of stupid TV as a child? And the answer is I knew a lot of comedy. I knew a lot of funny stuff. But, when you watch a family like the Duggars who has no television, yeah, they're super quirky in some ways, but they're homeschool family, so that's kind of expected. They didn't miss out on a lot because they didn't have TV. I like television as an adult.
I would say that that's not because they're quirky. I don't know that you can directly tie that to that being homeschooled. While being homeschooled, yes, you remove that social element. You and your brother and sister, you three were homeschooled, and I would say that you guys aren't necessarily socially awkward.
There's a difference between socially awkward and quirky. I think if you're homeschooled, period. You know what? Actually, you know what? I understand what the point you're trying to make. People are freaking weird. Every single person is weird in their own stupid way. So we like to blame homeschooling for some weird stuff, but we were homeschooled. We've got our own stupid things that we probably would have had if we were public schooled or private schooled in some other facet. Like, people are just silly.
I should make the difference. That's a decent point. There's a difference between socially awkwardness and quirkiness. But I don't know that you can tie even quirkiness as to directly homeschooling, because you even got public schoolers who are quirky. So that wasn't necessarily the point I was trying to make, but that is a point that people got their quirks. I mean, I've got my quirks.
Do you? Do you have your quirks, Drewby?
For anyone who has watched the show, listened to the show, has been following us, I don't know if I need to answer that. If you have not been listening to this show or been following us, I will say, yes, I have quirks. We were just talking about one of my quirks today at work. I mean, it's...
hold on. This is a good story. So, I've known Drewby since we were how old now? I'm 24, I already said that. How old was... I was probably, 9 when I met you?
Ish, maybe. I don't really remember.
Right. I've known Drewby easily... the large portion of my life.
Okay.
The larger portion of my life.
That's a fair say. Okay. All right, we'll go with that.
So I already know that Drewby is a relatively quirky individual in some ways. But we happen to work together. We work at the same job or same, company, and we happened to grab lunch together one day, and Drewby's car was running a little bit low on fuel. And so we pull up to the gas station, and so I've known Drewby long enough to know he's weird, so whatever. We pull up at the gas station. I'm sitting in the passenger side. He's sitting in the driver's side. We stop at the gas pump. You reach over to my side and open up your glove box, pull out a pair of gloves, put gloves on your hands, get out of the car, and start pumping your gas. And the whole time, I don't think I said anything to you immediately. In my brain, I'm going, what the heck is he doing? Why did he just pull gloves? It wasn't cold. This was probably summertime. It was warm outside. You just pull gloves out, you start pumping your gas. So you get back in the car, and I say, Drewby, what the serious heck did you pull those gloves off for? You're like, oh, those are my gas pumping gloves. And I'm like, excuse me? What did you say? Now, I want to hear. You've since matured and been able to move on from this. What was your logic behind your gas pumping gloves?
Oh, dude, do we want to go? Do we really need to go?
I want to hear this because I don't know if I've ever asked you this in real life because I tried.
All right. Well, I think that was close enough. I remember a little bit differently, but whatever. The reason... I
want to hear your side of the story. Hold on. No, let's go back. What's your side of the story?
That was accurate for the most part. I mean, a couple small details. I believe our boss now, but Justin, coworker boss, was there as well. I think he was going in to get food. I remember him coming out of the gas station. I think you had already figured this out at this point while I'm filling up the gas, and... like, I think he looked at me or whatever, and like you guys had figured out, and he was laughing too. But just small deals. But the reason why I wear, and sometimes still do. I filled up today. I didn't. Is because you might consider me a germaphobe.
I don't think we can consider you a germaphobe. I think there are a large number of reasons that you're a bad germaphobe if you are a germaphobe.
And I was conscious of how filthy gas pumps are, and so I decided to start wearing gloves. And I wore gloves I haven't worn them for the full my driving career, if you want to call it that. I have not worn gloves. I'd probably worn gloves for maybe 3 or 4 years. So I'm 22, almost 23. So what, you got 7 years? So from say probably 3 or 4 years I wore gas gloves, but I have not been. I filled up today. I did not use them. So, but that is why I was wearing gloves.
All right. So, were you one of those weird kids? Because I know one of our mutual friends, Jacob, was like this. Wait, did you ever play video game demos in stores?
Yes, I did.
Did you wear gas gloves?
No. No.
Did you absorb hand sanitizer into your hands in copious amounts?
Nope.
Because our friend, mutual gamer Jacob friend, would either not play game demos or like soak on the hand sanitizer if he ever wanted to play a public game demo at the store.
Mm.
And I was like, for real, dude?
No, I didn't really. I didn't do that. So, I
am what is referred sometimes the opposite extreme as the opposite of a germaphobe, which is someone that is in touch with their inner germ.
Yes, I think I watched you come out of the bathroom without washing your hands today. Like,
Did it bother you?
I thought about. I noticed it, but I didn't really think about it for like the rest of the day. So.
Did you realize that I ate right after that? Does that make you cringe?
I'm not. I don't think about it. Stop.
Drewby is covering his ears, which is
I'm just going
semi-useless considering he's wearing headphones.
As I cough into this mic, I'm kind of reminded of David Bowie mic.
You have to wash your mic out?
No, I'm just kind of reminded of David Bowie mic. I listened to that today.
What'd you think? For those that don't know, hold on real quick. I started a new podcast with a friend of the site / now co-host Blake of a music podcast this last Friday. We reviewed David Bowie's David Bowie album. So what did you think?
The concept is, I kind of like the concept. I was listening to some of the songs that you guys played. I kind of liked the album a little bit. Like,
it's a special creation.
It's
from Mr. David Bowie.
It is an old album, but I think it holds up fairly well. I liked. Are you
talking sound, or are you talking like creative ability? Because I don't think any of those sounds hold up at all.
Kind of the creative. I didn't really mind listening to it. Like, I'm not gonna go out. I mean, I've gone through a phase. What was it? Was it not the? I went through a part of my life where I was listening to the Bee Gees. It was a very short period, but I listened to this one album that they had, which is another older band. Like, I believe it was 60s or 70s. Were the Bee Gees the 60s? I think.
You know what? I can't tell you.
Okay. But going, like, if you guys can bring some of that back, some of these older album songs or something, and discover them, and I can discover them I can discover this music too. That's kind of cool. That Grave Digger song at the end, I think that I might agree with you. That might be my favorite, like, a creative, like perhaps most creative song on that album.
That song freaks my wife out.
Really? If you might, could you call it a ballad maybe, and not less of a song?
It's weird because it's not really. I mean, it's almost spoken instead of sung. I mean, there's definitely a melody to it, but it's a weird beast.
Mm.
It's almost like all of his songs, and we mentioned this on the podcast. All of his songs are like almost like mini plays or something. I don't know.
Stories. It's an album of different stories, which you talk about. So, if for those of you who are listening to this show, check that album. Check that podcast out. Michael does that. Go ahead.
Our next podcast for this week is going to be The 8-Year Affair by Protégé, which is a reggae album from 2013, because none of us know anything about reggae and would like to. So if you want to listen ahead, that's what we got to look forward to.
You're doing this podcast with kind of a friend of the site, now kind of co-host of the site, Blake.
Yeah, he's been on previous shows. He's my brother-in-law. He's my wife's. You know how relationship is. Whatever.
Just explain.
Remember how I always explain everything. Remember that's my thing on the show that I always do.
Just make sure you got to explain. You know, I'm confused, Michael. I don't know what a brother-in-law is.
That's why I thought it was funny when, like, we did the I do a thing every Thanksgiving on YouTube called Camouflage Revolution 2. I was the person that wrote the sketch where you explain every single joke, because that's the thing that I was known for doing on the show when we started.
The Culture My People inspired that joke?
Yeah, and the fact that for some reason I just find it semi-necessary to explain jokes when people don't get it, and obviously that ruins everything.
Okay.
I've not mastered my comedic ability. I hope. If this is mastering my comedic ability, I think we have... I should not try to be comedic on the show anymore.
Their problem. So Michael, you have just made a commitment. You're going to learn a new skill, to master a new skill in your life.
Okay, so this is actually topical because you got home about half an hour before the show started, and I was waiting on you to get home. Since you were not home when I was ready to start the show, I spent a significant amount of time watching YouTube videos of skateboarding tricks because I have decided in this year of 2015, as I am 24 years old, I am going to learn how to skateboard. I'm going to make myself, with my brother, learn how to skateboard. I got myself a skateboard. It's coming in the mail. I'll keep everyone posted. My goal right now is to try to get Drewby to be a skateboarder with me. I was suggesting boards to him.
I'm kind of eyeing a board. I should make a decision probably before the end of the night, but...
you should pick something because ours are going to come in and yours may not be here yet.
Let me see if I can...
Try to share your video. Okay, so while you're looking at that...
I can share this. Here we go.
Okay. For those that don't see this, there.
There we go.
Click on it. So for those of you that can't see this, he is an almost complete skateboard. Almost is the brand, and it's a flash board.
Barry Allen.
It looks like a 1960s, 1970s flash.
The board width is 7.8 inches, which you showed me an 8-inch board.
I don't know a ton about selecting boards, but I did read a little of research on it. For street boards, you're going to care less about width than for half pipe boards and stuff, because a lot of your tricks are going to be based on getting the board up off the ground, and you'll want a lighter board for that. So obviously, the thinner the board, the lighter it's going to be. And we're measuring in width here. I don't know if we said that.
Putting a lot of.
I've been doing a lot of. Yeah. So here's the thing. If you don't know me, if we haven't heard this on the show before, when I get into things, I like to do a lot of research and do a lot of background information stuff. I am a person that likes to get into something when I get into something. And so I have been watching lots of skateboard videos, watching tutorials for stuff, reading about boards and making your own boards and stuff. And the reason that we decided to do complete boards was A, because it's cheaper, and B, because I know I suck at skateboarding because I've never really done it before. So I don't want to spend a ton of money on a board if I don't even know what I'm doing yet. I figure at some point I'll probably break my first board and can try to build a better one or something.
If you get that far into it, it's probably going to be a little bit before you break a skateboard. I mean,
I'm a moderately heavy human being. I would not put to test the limits of what I can and can't break.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll just leave that then.
So yeah, I'm trying to lose weight too. That's another thing we're doing this year, or I'm doing this year.
Skateboarding, I mentioned that. We talked a little bit about it at work. Skateboarding that'll be a decent way to lose weight. You're pushing yourself off. You've got a certain amount of mass that needs to move in a forward motion.
Or an upward motion by the time I learn tricks.
So you got to exert that force to make all that happen. It's got to burn some calories. You'll be able to do some stuff with that.
At the very least, I'm spending time not on my butt and not eating more food. So
one of the difference that is probably helping or going to help with your diet now. You're eating healthy food, so in decent proportions.
For the most part, yeah. Weekends I kind of cheat, but yeah, mostly during the week I'm trying to be healthier. Which, if you know anything about me, I am not a healthy eater by natural trade.
You're eating celery, and you tell me you said something today like celery is like I don't know. I don't remember what you called it. Like it's not. Did you call it disgusting?
I said I do not like celery very much. Is what I said.
You think it's kind of
it doesn't
like,
taste very good.
It's just bland. I mean, it's not. It's
It's not actively disgusting. That is true.
I don't know if you can attribute lack of taste to nasty taste.
It's not a nasty taste, but the taste that it does have, I don't particularly care for. But since it's weak enough, it's not like it actively ruins my day.
You were
like
telling
sauerkraut or something would.
You were telling me something. I think it was last week about an odd thing that some people have when eating celery. I'm trying to. I don't remember. It was like, had to do with
my
like
mom told me. No, it was that my mom told me when she eats celery, her mouth gets tingly, and she assumed that was a normal thing for everyone to eat celery. And then she found out that it's actually a fairly common mild allergy to celery will make it feel like it's tingling in your mouth when you're eating it. But so if you eat celery and your mouth tingles, that could be what happens to you. It does not happen to me. I just whatever.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I didn't really, but an allergic people being allergic to celery is somewhat a common thing, I guess.
I don't know. I may have made that up. This is the internet. I can say what I want to.
Say I won't. So.
Why y'all scared to be different? My man Andy Menio put out a music video for his song "You Can't Stop Me," which we talked about on our Extravaganza podcast last year.
Have you watched this year? Yeah. Have you watched many of his music videos?
I think I may have seen all of them. I don't know.
I don't know if I've seen all of them or even some of them in entirety, but like I've watched parts of AO and I've watched like parts of Wild Things. Those like Where the Wild Things Are, relatively low budget music video. Like the entire thing is just him dancing in front of a bonfire.
One of my favorite songs, 116, is just a bunch of shots, like super close-up shots of the three people that rap in that song. Like it's super low budget.
That's so. I haven't, and he's got a new album coming this year, I think. Isn't he like in the studio?
I was not aware of that. I don't know. I feel like he's always in the studio, but now that he's married, he may have slowed down a little bit. What happens? He put on 30 pounds, which is what happened to me right away.
Did he put on?
Yeah. He's already talked about wanting to lose it.
He's got to. If he's going to skateboard on stage, then let's see here. News release Tuesday was on hand at Dove Awards on Monday night and quoted Andy Menio, who said, "I plan on dropping a new project next spring." That was in 2014. So
nice. So we should expect something soonish.
Soonish.
Was March the end of spring officially?
Let's see. I think it's after that. End of spring.
April? April feels like spring. May would be summer, so April's got to be the end.
In some regions in the northern hemisphere, the astronomical March equinox is to mark the first day of spring. So like March is like towards the end of March is like the first day of spring.
Okay.
Which is
odd.
Because that means that I guess I was born in the winter, which I never really consider. Huh. But anyway, we got March and later March to later June for spring. So we got March, April, May, June.
Is that how months work?
No, this is bad. This is bad. I'm not going to sit there and count. That sometime in that frame is when a new album is going to drop. We'll leave it at
that. Never mind. I want to play a music clip.
Did I screw up the months? Did I screw up the months? Is that what you're laughing about?
No, I was making a joke because you were telling us the order of the months.
Oh. I was just counting.
That was a palate cleanser because we killed the conversation.
How
We're supposed to follow the conversation. We kill the conversation.
do you that was the song that you did, wasn't it?
Yeah, that song that I was playing is a song I made.
Have you been working on that album at all recently?
I haven't got to, but I was at least thinking about it today, which is farther than I've gotten. Recently I've just been playing my guitar for fun. As you can see behind me, it is actually sitting outside of its case. It's because I've just been picking it up and playing with it at various lengths and times.
There you go. There you go.
I noticed that you have 2 guitars that sit behind you all the time. How much have you touched those?
The most they really get touched is for people to write stuff in the dust. So.
What do they rate? What is currently on your guitars?
I think one of them might be "Clean Me." What the? I don't know what the other one says. I should probably clean those off. I need to I should take them and get them restrung, and then maybe start picking up again. But I don't. That's kind of money that I don't really want to do. Even if I just go and buy the strings and just string it, because I'm capable of stringing them myself. It's not something I've gotten around to doing.
You should buy a skateboard instead.
Should I buy a skateboard? You're talking about $90 strings. What are you talking? Less than $20?
Like $5.
Is it $5 for a pack? I don't know.
If you get I feel like if you get like a medium quality string, it's like $5. If you don't get it strung by somebody else.
All right, maybe I'll do that. I don't know. Skateboarding, it's money. I will. You will. If I'm gonna do a skateboarding, maybe I'll do that. I might do that tonight so we'll see.
All right, so this is dying down, so I'm gonna kick it up a notch.
Okay.
Maybe. So video games, they're a thing.
Yes, they do exist in an electronic form, and you and I play video games occasionally.
From time to time. Have you played video games this week very much?
Have I played video games? Yes, I have. 2 things worth noting. I think that I'll note. Actually, 3. We'll talk about 3 things that I can think of right now. 1, I picked up the Swapper. Played that a little bit. Not very far. The game is
okay.
weird.
I want to hear what that game is. So try to describe it to me. I've never really heard anyone else describe it. They just keep saying that it's really, really good.
What I can tell so far is that I'm an astronaut. I went to a research station that was on a planet, and I've got to find the people. We lost contact with somebody, with some people, I believe, or some scientists, and so I'm supposed to go find them. And so I go to this station, or it's not a space station. It's on a planet, and in order to get through different doors, there's a kind of some puzzles, specifically that involve your person. So, let's say that there's a switch or a couple switches that I need to hit. Well, I can duplicate myself and project myself on different parts of the map. So let's say I'm standing on the bottom level where it's just flat, and then there's a platform above me that I need to be. Someone needs to be standing on that switch in order for this door to open over here, for me to go through it. I can project myself up there, and then there's another body to stand on that thing so I can walk through. The problem that you will run into is when you move to the left or to the right, that duplicate will move with you. So you're controlling every single body in the exact same way. Every projection of yourself mirrors movements with you. And you can be controlling 4 or 5 different objects at the same time. and so you have to solve.
Interesting.
So you have to solve it and get through these different pieces of the landscape in order to.
Is the movement always 1-to-1?
Yes, that I've seen.
Okay.
Yes. So you might need to be standing right next to the door, and then maybe and you might need to project it on a platform that doesn't have a wall, so that when you move forward, he is like walking along the button or the pressure plate, so that when the door opens, you can walk through it. Because if you keep walking, he's just gonna walk. He might just walk off, and then then you got to redo it, and you got to send another guy up there, and so you got to kind of position to time it. Another thing is you cannot project another body of yourself. It has to another part of the map that you can't see. It's line of sight. So if I am on the first level and I need to put a body up right above me, I can't just like project it through that platform or through that floor. I need to come out so I have a line of sight with some place where I can project him, and then I'll project him, and then like he might drop into place or depending on where you push him. And so then you gotta take that into account as well. So and then
How does it play on Vita?
I have not played it on the Vita yet. I've only played it on the PS4.
Okay.
It is available. I do have it for the. I think I have it for the Vita as well. I think it was a PlayStation Plus giveaway game. So I can.
It plays well on the PS4 though. It was originally PC, and I've heard people skeptical that it would work without a mouse.
Okay. It seemed to work just fine, but I'm not sure. Like I may be missing something. Like there may have been something as part of the PC that. With a mouse,
maybe it gets harder or something.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I haven't played it on the PC, so I think it might be PS3 as well, but I haven't really played on the PS3. So
What else you got?
another game. I thought of this, so I'll add it to the list. I've been playing on the Vita Sly Cooper's Thief in Time, which was a PS Vita PlayStation Plus giveaway game. At some point in the past, and so I started playing that. I kind of like that game. The platforming and the cartoon is kind of makes me a little nostalgic for games of the past that I used to play, like the kind of the cartoony feel of it. It's
Specifically, what games does it remind you of? Like DK64 or something?
Yeah, like. And it's not even that it's like a good direct comparison to DK64, and like the controls and it just plays differently. It's not a game that I play a lot of. A lot of the games that I play now are shooters or strategy games. I don't play like even the Ratchet and Clank games. I haven't really played those games. I don't play like cartoon platform games, and it just kind of reminds me of a time in my life when I guess I used to play them or whatever, and it's fun. I'm on the second world, I believe. I am in Japan, in old time, saving an ancestor. I've saved him already, and he runs like a sushi shop, but it's just a fun little game. And
does it have a tone reminiscent of like Sleeping Dogs, that sushi shop?
No, this sushi shop is much more innocent and pleasurable.
And cannibalism is not involved?
That I'm aware of. It could be an undertone, a side story, but that's.
They are always trying to sneak crap into kids' games. You never know.
Game developers, man.
All right, game 3, go.
Played more Destiny. I played. I put several hours into Destiny. That game is a good shooter, and I find myself playing it by myself. It would be nice to. I played a little bit with another guy. I know we ran some story. We ran a strike or two, and but I played. You and I played with your brother Mark on Sunday yesterday, and we played and got some multiplayer match in. We did some story missions, and that game is fun. So
Destiny continues to be Destiny. We've said many thoughts about Destiny, so I don't want to linger the point, but yeah, it's still good. Check back for our weekly report. Destiny is still Destiny, and Destiny is still fun.
You did mention something that I wasn't aware of. You said that the next X-Pack may be taking place in And it's a place called the Reef in the map. I was
It's like
not
an
aware.
asteroid belt.
Yeah, I was not aware that that was a thing. So
It's a rumor. I don't think it's confirmed or anything.
okay, that would be perhaps a good thing. That is a relatively unexplored part of the game. So
There are literally 2 cutscenes there. That's it.
that's
You never
it.
play, and the cutscenes are kind of Destiny cutscenes. So
There you go.
Alright, game 4.
Game 4. I got into the closed, not really closed beta, but a beta for Evolve, a multiplayer team-based shooter where you pit 4 players against one giant monster. And you and I played a couple hours of that. You actually played a little bit with me too. We kind of think it's kind of meh. Like it was kind of fun, but I'm not like super excited or stoked about it. It was just kind of okay, this is a game.
It reminds me of Left 4 Dead, which in a way could be fun given the right people and the right circumstances and the right situation. But overall, it's a game that you could, play a couple rounds of and then kind of not really care about. Like I couldn't see myself sitting there and grinding out levels and stuff the way that I do with something like Destiny or even something that like Call of Duty, because it's so dependent on the teams that you're working with and such that maybe if you had a group of 4 friends to constantly play the game with, it might be alright, but I don't know. I feel like if you had 4 people that were playing as the hunters that were super coordinated, it might not even be that hard if you were just doing it over and over and you had practice. Like I don't know how much depth there is, and obviously this is just a beta with a lot of different stuff, but the game didn't feel good enough for me to wanna immediately jump in on the $60 price point and try it right away. Like it's a game I'll pick up later on a Steam sale probably.
I will say that I think you kind of had a similar reaction to Destiny, in that when you played.
I did. In fact, actually, Destiny's was worse. I hated Destiny when we played the beta. I thought it was garbage.
And I liked it both times that I played it. The alpha I liked. The beta I liked kind of less much, but so it could change. Maybe the reviews will come out and everyone's like, "Oh, this is a great game," and maybe you're like, "All right, I'll try it. I'll figure this out." So
it's possible, though. I right at this point, I am not holding my breath that much for it. There are other games this year. I mean, there's a ton of games this year that I'm looking forward to, and so it's not like I'm uber disappointed right now or anything after playing that beta. But I think it's not what we kind of hoped it would be, but it's also kind of what I expected. So I don't know. I don't even know what that means.
You got 4 hunters, 4 playable characters. One of them is a support who can kind of cast a shield on another person, call in airstrikes. You have the medic who kind of heals people. You have the assault person who does the damage, and then you've got the trapper who actually tracks down the monster. And the 4 of you are running around the map trying to find this monster. And then once you find it, no one person can really see.
Yeah, the monster is also a player.
Yes.
The person.
Yes. So you got the 4 people trying to run around trying to find the monster before the monster. Try to get him quicker is better for the players, because the longer he's out there, he can eat other animals and kind of level up, and become stronger. And so you've got to take him down, and the monster wins by either taking out all 4 players or destroying the power plant on the map. And the only way the hunters can win is by defeating the monster, by killing him. So
yeah, and it plays a lot like a Left 4 Dead, where you all have to stick together. The only thing, or one of the major things that it adds, I guess, is a better way to say it, is each player, as Drewby mentioned, has different abilities, and you kind of all have to work together. The trapper, they're called trappers, right?
Yes.
The trapper, one of their abilities is like you said, the one that tracks. He has a pet, or she has a pet. In the beta, she has a pet who will follow the monster's tracks if you find them, and then she has abilities that, like her name implies, can trap the monster and keep the monster contained to a certain area and slow it down and stuff. Whereas, like, there's a character that is just built for doing lots of damage, the support character is built for like putting shields on people and making it so other people can do more damage by like effectively putting a debuff on the monster, and then like the healer obviously heals people, and I think I messed up some of those abilities, but like the abilities are spread out over the 4 classes, so as you implied earlier, not one class could ever take out the monster, but working together, using all your abilities, especially if you catch the monster while he's low leveled, you can take him down.
So, if you have 4 people playing as the hunter, that could be fun in doing that. If you have 4 people, or if you have, even if like someone as the monster, I could see that kind of being a little fun. It's
I think it'd be more fun, especially if you're in chat.
Just like, I'm gonna get you. Just like you could taunt. So, anyway, yeah, Evolve. We will.
Interesting game, not a bad game, just not an incredibly amazing game.
What does that say about the state of video games? Where a good game comes out, we're just like, whatevs.
I feel like mediums are always like that. Albums come out, they're okay. Movies come out, they're okay. Everything can't be amazing, or nothing would be amazing, right? That's how it works.
But everyone is special.
Everything is awesome. Everything is cool. Team. Did you play anything else? That was only 4 games, right?
I think I can't really think. Nothing's really coming to mind right now, so.
Alright, so when I was watching my 19 Kids and Counting show, I happened to try to play a game called SteamWorld Dig, which I like to describe as the game that I don't understand why people would ever think it is a fun game. Okay, so here's the concept for SteamWorld Dig. Imagine Minecraft and everything that makes Minecraft cool, and then imagine that it's 2D like Terraria and all the things that make Terraria cool, and then imagine that none of those things in the game, and the only thing that you can do is dig. You can't build. You can explore, but like there's not like special monsters to see. There's not special bosses to fight. Just imagine that you have a game that is approximately 5 hours long, and I've probably played 3 or 4 hours so far, and the only mechanic in the game is digging and then jumping back to the top to sell your materials for money so you can buy better picks to dig deeper.
Kind of like, it reminds me a little bit of Starbound.
Except that Starbound is cool, because Starbound like has varying environments and lots of different monsters that can be on different planets and different ways you can do stuff. You can build stuff in Starbound. You can get way cooler looking tools that provide you with different resources. Imagine that all you can do is you have a pick and you can dig down. And then when you fill up on your inventory, you go back to top, you sell your resources, and then you go dig down again. And that's it. SteamWorld Dig.
Woot.
So I will probably end up beating that game at some point because I'm already mostly done with it. But that is a game that is not that fun, and I'm only beating for completion's sake. That's a game that like I've heard people talk about being super cool, and like there's kind of a story on it that is whatever. But for the most part, I don't think that game. Like the thing that makes diggers and builders cool is that you can build and explore, and I think that this is just raw digging in a way that doesn't feel that satisfying or fun. So, SteamWorld Dig, glaring holes, according to my views. Like we already played. I said we played Destiny. I said we played.
We owned Destiny.
We played 3 matches of multiplayer in Destiny. I did extremely poorly 2. You did poorly 1. Okay, the next one. And then the 3rd match that we played, I think we kind of hit our stride because we completely decimated the other team, like owned them. Both of us. And my favorite part is that we were number 2 and 3 on our team, which means there was someone even better than us. And we were just Destiny, man. It was a fun game. But I downloaded the beta for the multiplayer beta for Halo 5 and then never played it because I.
Are you out of it? Is it over then?
Yeah, it ended yesterday, and so
Mhm.
I just downloaded 10 gigs for no reason. Bandwidth, man. Um, but I did play a game that you may have heard of called The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker, or Wind Waker, I guess.
The Wind Waker.
The Waker of the Wind. Um, and I my history with Zelda is one where I really, really loved Ocarina of Time, and it caused me to play lots of Zelda games. But I kind of didn't have a GameCube, and Wind Waker was the thing to do, and so I didn't really play it. And it's a lot of people's favorite Zelda game. And so with Awesome Games Done Quick, which was the big charity event that happened last week or 2 weeks ago, with people speedrunning various video games, I ended up watching a 2013 video of somebody speedrunning Ocarina of Time, which reminded me how much I like Zelda games. And then reminded me I had Wind Waker HD sitting on my Wii U unbeaten. So I started that, and I like it. In fact, I wanted to play it before the show, but then I said we should get the show out of the way. That way I don't get too sucked in and don't want to do the show, because I like it quite a bit. It's got the cel-shaded art that made it unpopular with kids and young teenagers at the time, because they didn't want their Zelda all kiddish, but I think it looks really well, and I think that cartoony art holds up so much better than things that try to be realistic with old graphics, because they're more for their style and for their artistic merit than their technical prowess, which will always look poorly after a large periods of time has passed.
You are looking at Wind Waker on an HD Wind Waker.
It is an HD remake, but even if you look at the GameCube version of the game, it is still pretty. I also started playing Mario Galaxy 2, which is not HD, and that game still looks pretty. It's just not the resolution that you wish it was. It's just a little blurrier than you wish it was. But Wind Waker, yeah, I wanna beat that game. I'm getting pumped for the 3DS release of Majora's Mask, which is going to come out next month, soon. Next month or March, I can't remember. And the last Zelda game that I played was early last year when I played Link Between Worlds, which I really liked. So I'm having fun with 3D Zelda, going back to some of my original gaming roots.
Looking at pictures of the comparison, this is actually interesting. I'm gonna chat this
He's
to
gonna
you.
share a screen. Are you just sending me a link?
I can screenshot this one.
So for those that are not,
This is Time Magazine, I believe.
yeah. So he has a Time Magazine shot. He's showing the differences between the two, and it basically looks like, for the most part, in the HD stuff, obviously they upped the resolution, and then they also made it a lot brighter.
The one on the left is the
darker and
Wii U.
moodier.
Yeah, the one on the left is Wii
Oh,
U.
is it?
Yes, the one on the
Oh,
left
because
is the
then they
Wii
made
U.
it darker.
The one on the, well, not necessarily. The one on the right is GameCube.
So it looks like, in some ways, it doesn't look. Some of these shots look better. Some of these shots look worse. Interesting.
So, yeah, the Time
So
Magazine.
yeah, as looking at these pictures, it's actually interesting to see which is which. Are you sure the one on the left is the Wii U?
You can check out here. Check out these stills from the video for a taste. Wii U at left, GameCube on right.
Okay, so maybe it's the
There-
stream sharing. I don't know.
there-
Actually, the
there is a
GameCube
little
one on the
video
right
here.
looks really good.
There is a video here.
Yeah.
It is 11 minutes long, but
Yeah, don't bother.
you can if you want to, like, all I did, I think I just searched for like Wii U. Let me see what I searched for. I just Google searched. I was doing an image search. Zelda Wind Waker HD. And
I think a lot of those cartoony games still hold up really well. I think that Kingdom Hearts, even on its PS2 form, still looks really good. Especially when you imagine playing Kingdom Hearts with its cartoony graphics and how good that game looks and still looks today, and then look at like the Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers, which looks like a complete, utter garbage smash mess because it tried to be more realistic looking. Like the cartoony stuff holds out so much better.
that animation in that game was pretty good.
Yes, it is. It's super smooth and it's super cool. Like I like it a
in,
lot.
in, the, in the game, like I'm not even referring to like the gameplay stuff. I'm referring to like, do you remember like the music video sequences or something? Like it was kind of like on a Blizzard level of cinematic. Um,
Oh yeah, the not in-game cutscene
yeah,
stuff.
I'm
Yeah,
not talking about the in-game stuff.
yeah, that looks really good too.
The in-game
Good.
stuff.
Yeah.
I'm looking at a picture. This doesn't necessarily look super bad.
No, I think those games hold up really well. Because I thought, when I was a kid, I thought they were like the most amazing looking things on that console, and I still kind of hold to that. Where like the textures looked really crisp, and because of its cartoony nature, it could have like super rounded, colorful things that looked really pretty, and didn't overtax the hardware, making it look kind of better. Like I'm sure they used lots of cool tricks like that.
Kingdom Hearts 2. They did. I'm looking at. I saw a picture and I'm looking at it. Tron. When they did the Tron map, they did some visual stuff in that game. That kind of like different than the first one. Like when they did like the entire world of Tron, and then like you set Sora in like a Tron outfit. Like there's some visually like artsy stuff in that game. And in those
and
games.
Tron is so cool.
And Tron too.
Tron is so cool.
You want to race light cycles, Michael?
I want to do everything that's seen in the world of Tron except get derezzed and like die.
Mulan. Yeah, Kingdom Hearts, man. Have you played those games recently?
Kingdom Hearts?
Yeah.
Part of me really, really, really wanted to get the HD re-releases for the PS3, but I didn't do it. I played Kingdom Hearts on the 3DS last year, and I was not able to beat it. With the exception of Chain of Memories, I found that the handheld Kingdom Hearts games. I haven't played the most important one for like the lore, which is called Birth by Sleep on the PSP. But with the exception of that one, I've played all of the Kingdom Hearts games, I think, and the handheld ones, except for Chain of Memories, which I think is amazing, but is obviously super derisive because of its card combat system. I think they're all kind of meh or garbage. So some of them are just garbage. The one I'm thinking of, Kingdom Hearts Recoded is a crappy game. It's a bad game.
Was that a cell phone game?
It was originally a cell phone game, but then they made the gameplay better and put it on DS, regular DS.
I'm looking. Kingdom Hearts 3. They never actually announced that officially, did they?
Yes, they did. Kingdom Hearts 3 has been announced.
Okay. So I'm looking. There's like it says like platform PS4 and Xbox One.
Supposedly it's this year, but I don't buy that.
That's not Capcom. It's is it solely Square? Is it solely Square Enix? Yeah.
Yes.
There's a website for Kingdom Hearts 3.
Mm-hmm.
Kingdom Hearts 3 2013 trailer?
Yeah, it announced it a long time ago.
The announcement trailer. Okay. Huh. Well, there you go. They should release those on the PS4. Maybe I'd go play them. Maybe not.
You never beat Kingdom Hearts 1 or 2, did you?
I beat 1. I never beat 2.
Okay. You got to the last level of 2.
I got to the last boss fight of 2, and I can never...
In fact, you didn't even make it to the hardest part.
There are 3 parts of that fight, and I could get the first fight, but then when I get to the second fight, that's when I would lose. And I bet I probably could do it now. I'm better at video games now. But I never actually did it then.
What do you have all over your table? Looks like you just have CDs lying there.
Let's see. These are all PS4 games. I have a bunch of different stuff, but I mean on the table. That's a CD. Yeah, these are just my PS4 games. Killzone Shadowfall. Do you remember that? That was a thing.
I thought about trying to beat it because I made it probably halfway through.
We should play FIFA sometime.
FIFA is a fun game. That's a game where like I feel if I pull it back out, I might get into it again. And I have other games I really want to beat.
Did you ever beat Dragon Age? I don't think you have.
No. Dragon Age is not a game one merely beats on a whim. That is like a 50-hour game minimum.
That got IGN's Game of the Year.
That got many people's Game of the Year.
That
is not a game that I was as into as I really hoped I would be.
Does it has different problems than 2 does? Or you would say it has the same problems?
Some of the same problems, yeah. 2's problem was... I think my main concern with 2 and 3, or Inquisition, I guess, are that there is not a... 2 doesn't have the same problems as 3. 2, I think, is a bad game. 3, I think, is not what I want it to be, which are different. Those are different things. I think I could write a paper on why Dragon Age 2 is just a bad game. Dragon Age Inquisition, lots of people like, and I can understand why they like it. It's a lot of politics stuff that's super slow. And I don't want to say I don't care about the politics in that world because some of them are interesting, but I think that the method that you... at the point of the game I'm at, everything just seems so drawn out and slow, and I want something to happen. Like Dragon Age, the original Dragon Age Origins, everything is so important all the time, and even when you're just dealing with smaller stories, they're more interesting. Like I feel like things are fleshed out, and you're I think one of the reasons that Dragon Age Inquisition suffers is because instead of having an actual fluid world where you're traveling from place to place, you're just warping out of different hubs that are... Some of them are large. I mean, they're large areas, but I really think that disconnect hurts the game when you're like, okay, I got this quest, and then I just warp to this place and then do this stuff. It doesn't feel like a cohesive world, which I think Dragon Age Inquisition really does. So, I don't know. Dragon Age Inquisition makes me sad. Maybe it picks up later on. I've heard it kind of does, but at this point, like, I want to play through Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes, which I know won't take me very long, and I really want to play Wind Waker, and Wind Waker is just super pretty, and like I think Dragon Age Inquisition doesn't look that good.
Wind Waker is just a better game than Dragon Age 3.
I think that at this point I would make that argument. I've put way less time into Wind Waker, and I am way more into Wind Waker than I am into Dragon Age Inquisition.
There you go. Okay.
Anyway, it's getting that time.
I don't know if there's any... I mean, I didn't really play much else. Did you? You didn't really play anything else? Did you?
So, what are the deets about yourself? I'm getting super tired. I don't know why.
Deets.
Where can people find you, Drew?
Me on Twitter at Drewby132, Facebook.com/Drewby132, email at theculturemypeople at gmail.com.
Was Drewby123 already taken?
Come.
Nice.
Drewby13. Wait. What do you mean?
Did you forget to talk or count? Man,
What?
I'm tired. 1 through 2. I asked if Drewby123 was already taken.
I don't remember why I did 1 through 2. It might have already been taken, but in hindsight, 1 through 2 is probably better than 1, 2, 3. So it's probably good that worked out that way.
Drewby XXX Batman fan XXX 1991. When were you born? 91.
Hashtag Bruce Wayne.
You can't put hashtags in your usernames, but I'm sure if you could, people would.
Remember that Jimmy Fallon sketch where him and I don't remember that. It's
Timberlake?
No, it's when him and the other, was it Jonah Hill, when they just like hashtag can't do this, and they just like go back and they have like this conversation. Was it an SNL thing?
No, that's Jimmy Fallon.
That was a Jimmy Fallon thing? Okay. They sit there
Yeah.
and they just have... So.
Michael.com, or Michael.com, wow!
Dude!
I'm tired. Twitter.com/Michael Nip. DHAELKNIPP, Facebook.com/TheRealMichaelNip. It is 7:45 p.m. people. That's how sad this is.
You're an old man now. Old man nipper.
This is why I gotta learn how to skateboard so I don't feel so old.
Make sure it happens before
Facebook.com/TheRealMichaelNip.
7 o'clock. Make sure it happens before 7.
And it gets dark here at like 6, so I'm safe. So at least
until we hit the daylight. Until we hit the next. So then you got the one. Then you
So you already said the website or the email, cultureandpeople@gmail.com. You can follow us on iTunes. Give us a 5-star review.
You have questions or comments? You have questions or comments?
Sell our souls.
Email us. Yeah, iTunes is there as well. Check the podcast. BeyondPod on Android. You can do that too.
Saturday, I do a music podcast with Blake, which we referenced earlier, called I Can't Know Music, I'll Know Music.
And you guys are doing that reggae album. You're doing a reggae album. The 8th Mile?
It's called The 8-Year Affair by Protege.
The 8-Year Affair. So, how do you spell Protege, Michael?
Well, it's not spelled correctly. It's Protoje. Which, now that I say that, I don't know how to spell Protege correctly, but I think there's a G in it.
Yes, Protege.
I feel like that's a word that should have one of those like accent marks above the G because it sounds weird.
It may have at first, but us and the Americans in the English language, we rebel against all common norms. Like we just no, take that accent. It's gone. We swiped it away. Now we don't do that no more.
We'll be back the same time next week. So for hashtag follow the conversation episode 24. This has been Michael Nip and
Drewby.